Sounds good. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Governors meeting on this wonderful Friday the 13th. It's been a good day, so thank you for being here. First up on the agenda, we have announcements. One, we had a wonderful luncheon and opportunity this afternoon to recognize David and Deborah Humphreys for their gift to the Lions Forward campaign. So I'd like to thank them again for their gift and contribution and the continued success of their student scholars. We do have some new members to introduce. Faculty Senate, Dr. Michael Blyfus, welcome, thank you. And from Staff Senate, Ms. Leona Belk, welcome. In your packet, you have the minutes from our June 13th meeting and also our July 15th special board meeting. I'll give you an opportunity to review those and I'll entertain a motion.
Is it one motion for both or two separate motions?
Whichever is easier. I could do one motion for both.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes for the two meetings.
I got a motion from Governor Hendricks, second from Governor Siebert. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you. All right, we will now move into reports. First up is the presidential report from Dr. Van Galen.
Thank you, Governor Haley. I'll reference the report in your packet a bit, but we are off to a great start for the 24-25 academic year. We've seen really strong student engagement, including at the Southern Welcome activities as we welcomed new students to campus. One special event I wanted to highlight, and there's a photo of it on the left side of the page, was a spirit tunnel. This is a relatively new high energy tradition in which our campus staff and faculty and a large number of community members lined the path and made some noise for our students as they exited the tunnel under Newman Road and then made their way to the pep rally in TPAC. So, you know, traditions are important to a university, and I think this is a great one that our students will remember and treasure. In addition to beginning the fall semester, of course, we have been reminded of the power of philanthropy and the ways it impacts Missouri Southern and our students. As Governor Haley mentioned, today we recognize the generous $1 million donation from David and Deborah Humphreys to continue the Humphreys Excellence Awards program for years to come. Last month, we celebrated a $1 million gift commitment from Freeman Health System. That gift was dedicated to the construction of the Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center. Both of these charitable gifts, in different ways, will really positively impact the future of our university and provide educational opportunities for thousands of future Missouri Southern students. We are deeply grateful for this generosity, really the vote of confidence that those investments represents in our institution. I want to provide a report from this past Wednesday's meeting of the Missouri Coordinating Board for Higher Education, which took place in Jefferson City. At that meeting, the Coordinating Board voted approval of its budget request to the governor for fiscal year 2026. There were three key components in the recommendations I wanted to share with the board. Number one, a 3% inflationary increase for all colleges and universities. For us, that would be a little over $900,000. Number two, a $33 million request for what we've known as the Mo Excels projects. These are one-time funds that support campus projects specifically related to workforce development. And then the third request was a $27.1 million one-time investment to help address maintenance and repair needs on the campuses across the state. If approved, this would be roughly $400,000 for Missouri Southern. Very important to keep in mind that these requests from the Coordinating Board are simply a starting point for an extended budget process that will unfold over the next 8 months. The Coordinating Board also received an update on legislative efforts to develop a new performance-based funding model for higher education in Missouri. This morning, our CFO, Linda Ice, provided the Budget and Audit Committee some information on the new model that is being considered by that group. It's important to note that the model, if implemented, would be tested prior to being funded, and then this would not be implemented in whole before fiscal year 2028. So we'll continue to track that process through Missouri Department of Higher Education, Workforce Development, and the legislature. Also included in my written report, we have secured state funding through the Science to Jobs program. This is a partnership with the Missouri Biotechnology Association, often called MoBio. This legislatively directed focus of this program is to increase collaboration and workforce opportunities and industry partnerships in precision health and agricultural sciences. Campus initiatives will be supported, including approximately $1.2 million in earmarked funds we will receive that will help expand the Summer Science and Jobs program for middle and high school students. The funding will also support outreach programs with industry partners and investments in 3D printing and other technologies to support learning, research, and innovation in precision health and ag sciences. One of the joys of being on our campus is seeing students engaged in immersive learning opportunities that they likely never thought possible. As an example, I want to display, with Scott's assistance, a photo from this past Monday afternoon. This was a kickoff event for the first group of Wilcoxon scholars. Thanks to the generosity of Dr. Bob and Dot Wilcoxon, these 5 students and their faculty mentors will conduct research projects in areas related to health science. They'll create new knowledge, learn of the joys and the challenges of research, and be mentored by some of our truly outstanding faculty. We're deeply grateful to Dot Wilcoxon and excited to see what these students will do, mentored by our great faculty. So at the end of the day, Missouri Southern transforms lives through higher education. In that spirit, I want to conclude my report with a brief video that was developed by our Office of University Relations and Marketing, with special thanks to Curtis Almeter, who interviewed several of our graduates to get their perspectives on their Missouri Southern experience. I hope you enjoy the video, and after that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
I'm Chris Clark. I'm Director of Communications at CRB, and I'm a proud 1991 alum of Missouri Southern. I graduated with a bachelor's in mass communication.
My name is Diana Hernandez. I'm a second grade elementary teacher with an emphasis on early education, and I graduated from Missouri Southern in 2022.
Rod Smith, former Missouri Southern State Lion, former 2-time Super Bowl champ with the Denver Broncos, currently retired.
Hi, I'm Amber Phipps. I graduated in '04 with an undergraduate degree in health promotion and wellness. I work at Children's Nebraska. I'm the Vice President of Operational Excellence. I am also a major in the Army Reserves.
My name is Garrett Dunn. I graduated from Missouri Southern back in 2020, and now I'm an emergency medicine resident physician at Freeman West Hospital in Joplin.
I'll never forget walking into the office of the campus newspaper, the Chart, and being very intimidated. The place had such a reputation for excellence, for really teaching people the ropes.
Yeah, so my advisor was definitely one of the biggest reasons that I'm still an educator today. I think that I had so many moments where I was like, I can't do this, I won't be able to do this. I'm going to be alone with a bunch of different little kids.
You know, at Southern, I had a lot of ups and downs. You know, in my life as a young man, there's a lot of transition when you go from being at home and your mom taking care of everything to you gotta go do it on your own.
One of the defining moments at Missouri Southern was during my senior year between 2019 and 2020. I had taken the Advanced Human Dissection course with Dr. Berry, and I really enjoyed that course. Wasn't quite sure if I wanted to be a teaching assistant, but I was being asked to. But I ended up doing it, stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I just really enjoyed that. It was the highlight of my spring semester of my senior year.
What made my experience at Missouri Southern so great was definitely my teammates. I had the opportunity to play soccer there for 4 years and met some of the most amazing people, and that was a huge thing for me.
The moment I won't forget is knowing, it probably came in the spring semester when I really started writing I can point to Wednesday nights, putting the paper together. I found my happy place.
One of the most defining moments at Southern that stands out to me is the parent panel that we had come in. It was a variety of different parents coming in to tell us how one experience affected all of them. And it really made me realize the type of educator that I want to be. And it got me so emotional that I went to my professor afterwards and just cried with her, and she let me sit there and talked me through it. And I think that was the moment I realized I want to be an educator.
John Lance became the head coach. He gave me this sense of belief in myself that I didn't have. I was a very shy person.
Dr. Berry, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Rhodes, all these others that I, can't all mention at once. They helped me kind of realize, I can do this. I can go on this path.
As a student athlete, I was gone quite a bit, and I needed that extra attention or that ability to connect with them, to ask those clarifying questions. And so to me, that was a big game changer to make sure that I had a successful college career.
Under Chad, you learned by doing. It's not an overstatement to say that I owe much, if not most, of what I do now to his tutelage, his coaching.
I am forever grateful for the faculty and staff at Missouri Southern. I strongly believe that I am the person that I am today due to them taking that time to invest in me.
And I've graduated medical school, and now I can't thank them enough for that.
You got support, you can make it through, and for me, I probably couldn't have made it without him.
The measure of a place is how you feel when you leave it, and I miss it terribly then, and I actually miss it now.
A great reminder of our impact. So thank you, Curtis. Scott, thank you for making that happen today.
Any questions for Dr. Van Galen? Okay, moving on then to the Executive Vice President's report. Dr. Brad Hodson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, governors. Just some highlights from my written report. You heard me announce during the press conference that the Lions Forward campaign had reached $34.4 million in total commitments by the end of the last fiscal year. And that means that as we move towards our goal of $37 million, we have $2.6 million to raise in the coming year to meet that intermediate goal, marching towards the overall campaign goal. I also included some information about facilities. You allocated special funds for two projects, as you heard this morning. One was HVAC remediation in some of our larger cooling towers, and the other was the hot water system in the apartments. Those are both going very well. Webster's remediation on that HVAC system is complete. Now moving on to the largest chiller on campus, Spiva, which serves 7 buildings around the Oval, and 4 of the 8 apartment buildings have the hot water systems completed in them, and there are 4 left. So that's going very well. And then on the next page, you see the list of improvements that were completed over the summer through the 3-year facilities improvement plan. Blaine is listed as needing punch list items completed. That's been done. We're moved on to cleaning, and they'll be ready to turn over to Residence Life very soon. But you see the work that the facilities team did this summer to make improvements when we have fewer students on campus. And then while you're in the ballroom, I hope you took the opportunity to look out over the Oval and see the construction at the Health Science Innovation Center. They are in the process of drilling those 81 piers. And then I indicated in my report, which we turned in several days earlier, that we were negotiating the guaranteed maximum price contract with Crossland. Those negotiations are complete. I have the contract here for Dr. Van Galen to review over the weekend, and we are moving forward with that project. Still a completion date targeted for August of 2026. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Hodson?
Governor Haley.
Yes.
Dr. Hodson, on the Blaine Residence Hall upgrade, that's the first dorm that you come into as you pull into the residence halls on the right?
I don't believe so. I think it's further around the
Blaine's
curve.
is the old Webster? Is that the old Webster then?
It would be. Do you know where the new skate park is? Okay. It's on around the corner. It's one of the larger. It backs up to the dining hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what all was done in there?
So it was primarily in the HVAC and in the plumbing, but also new cabinetry was installed. The cabinetry was original to the building's construction, and so if you're a student there, you'll notice improvements not only in the comfort but also in the aesthetic.
Thank you.
Other questions? All right. Thank you, sir, for your report. Next reports, the Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Lisa Thomas.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin my update, I would like to introduce our newest academic dean, Dr. Crystal Lemons. Would you stand, Crystal? Began her work as the Dean of the College of Health, Life Science, and Education on July 1 of this year, but she is no stranger to any of us. She has been a faculty member in biology and environmental health since 2001. She served as chair of that department for 2 different stints and served as associate vice president for academic affairs. I said 12 to 16, is that correct? 2012? 12 to 15. Dr. Lemons is a veterinarian by training and was in practice for several years before she joined us, and we are thrilled to have her on the academic affairs leadership team, and she has hit the ground running. The Missouri Southern Nursing Program has received preliminary approval to offer a second cohort each year, beginning in January. The expansion would allow 20 additional students to be accepted each January. The Missouri State Board of Nursing will conduct an on-site visit in December, and this should be our final step in the approval process. That means if they approve, we will already have a cohort ready to go to come in January. Additionally, good news, the May 24 nursing graduates had a 100% pass rate on the NCLEX yet again. I'd like to thank Dr. Lisa Bills and her faculty and staff for all of their hard work, and they continue to look for ways to innovate and help their students be successful. For the 3rd year in a row, the MSSU Honors Program won the award for the highest student engagement rate in the country at the annual Suitable Pathways Conference. The Honors Program accepted 38 new students for this fall, with 33 as first-time freshmen. 20 of those have a 4.0 GPA, 3 were first in their high school class, and 10 were in the top 20%. 6 are from out of state. And I'm pleased to announce that on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, September 17th, the Teacher Education Department will host a literacy summit that focuses on new methods, technologies, and training opportunities related to teaching and improving literacy. Dr. Carol Tolman will be the keynote speaker. Dr. Tolman is a nationally recognized expert and scholar on the science of reading. She is the co-author of Letters, that stands for Language Essentials for Teachers of Reading and Spelling. Other sessions will address teaching digital literacy, teaching writing in the age of AI, and English language learners and literacy. This event was made possible by a generous donation by our very own Dr. Benjamin Rosenberg. So we thank Dr. Rosenberg for that. That concludes my report. Do you have any questions?
No, but I want to add my thank you to Dr. Rosenberg.
Why?
Because I'm grateful.
Any
For
other,
your gift.
any other questions or comments for Dr. Thomas?
I guess I just have gratitude on my heart today all the way around.
Good job on the nursing cohort and coming in January, and the success of the NCLEX passing for our May 24 grads. Good job there. Okay, next report is from our CFO and Treasurer, Ms. Linda Ice.
Good afternoon. We are obviously in the throes of our annual audit. This is the time of year when we are working hard and fast to meet a November presentation deadline. This year we had some expanded compliance reviews. We have a lot of federal dollars that are flowing in from the state of Missouri, the ARPA funding for the Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center. We also had some HRSA funding that flowed through into the university. And so when you have federal dollars that comes through, we have additional compliance reviews that are pretty specific and very detailed. And so that was in addition to the normal annual audit that we do. This year we also had a review of our TRIO programs. That happens every 2 years. And again, those are federal dollars. And so they take a look at those programs as well, really part of the standard audit. We'll continue to work on schedules and financials and narrative and have that ready for the November board meeting. This fall is also the year for the agreed upon procedures that we do for the NCAA report. So we'll be working with athletics on that, and that will be this fall. The insurance committee obviously has done some work. We will be moving towards our open enrollment, which will be in October. Very pleased to share that we were able to hold rates constant this year, so there's no rate increase to employees, and so we felt that that was successful on the rate negotiations and looking at that, and it's due to a lot of the hard work really that comes from employees. It comes down to some of the claims that they do, some of the health and wellness that they do throughout the year, and it makes a difference and has an impact on those rates. Human resources, sometimes they are some of the first folks that welcome our new colleagues to campus, and along with new students in the fall, we have a tremendous amount of onboarding that gets done by a lot of the faculty that come onto campus to teach our students. And I was asking the number on that, and we onboarded over 66 faculty and 9 staff members in the month of August. We have new time faculty and we have adjunct faculty. And so August is a very, very busy time. I also mentioned in my report that the bookstore, obviously, they get to engage with our students a lot, and it's an exciting time for them because they assist our students with all of the things that they need in the way of course materials, and then of course we like to see them purchasing their Southern gear and showing their Southern pride, and they are so excited to go through the bookstore and make those purchases and become part of the Lion family almost on day one. I'll move over to the financial statements, and I wanted to share how fiscal year 24, how we finished out the year. And with regard to cash, we ended the year with $21.6 million, and that was up about $1.4 million over the prior year. And looking at the financial statements for August 31 of 2024 for this fiscal year, our cash balance at this time is $21.7 million. Our assets are $206 million, our liabilities are $133 million, and that gives us net assets of $73 million. At this time, every year I always talk about we get ready to make our semi-annual bond payment, and the amount of that bond payment for this fall will be $2.5 million, and that'll be made over the next couple of weeks. When we move to the next statement, the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position, we always look at the difference column. We're comparing the prior year to the current year. Operating revenue is up almost $750,000. Large portions of that is from our tuition and our auxiliary. Operating expense shows an increase of $402,000. You will see a difference on there on our compensation of a little over $500,000. That is from, we had an additional biweekly hit in the current year, where last year we had 2 pay periods, this year we had 3 pay periods. We also have some new grant-filled positions that we have brought on different faculty members and other staff. And obviously we also had the compensation increases that were approved by the board on July 1. Non-operating revenue shows an increase of $489,000. Piece of that is obviously the increase in our base appropriations and also some dollars flowing in for the new science to jobs. Other revenue just shows a small little decrease of about $7,000. Income before other revenues in the current year is at $14.4 million, and the prior year was $13.6. This gives us an increase year over year of a little over $800,000. And I'll answer any questions.
Questions for Ms. Ice? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the financial report. Governor Elliott, get a second?
Second.
Second, Governor Morgan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, finances are approved. Thank you, Linda. Okay, next report. I gotta make sure I get your new title correct. Associate Vice President of Admissions and Enrollment, Dr. Shelley Hill.
Thank you, Governor Haley. I'd like to start off by sharing an update on fall enrollment. So census reporting will begin later this afternoon. However, as of this morning, I'm happy to report a few highlights, if you will. New first-time freshman enrollment is up. Overall graduate enrollment is up. And dual credit has the highest enrollment numbers that we've ever seen here at Missouri Southern. So we are very happy to see enrollment growth in many different areas of our student population. This is the third consecutive semester we've seen an increase in international student enrollment. More importantly, most of these students are degree-seeking students. Overall international student enrollment is up 25%. Many of those students we have here today come from India, Nepal, Mexico, Nigeria, Japan, Sweden, and Vietnam. Next, I have an update for you for Global Leaders. So we have a new director leading the Global Leaders program. His name is Ben Cooper. And he got off the ground running this summer. He was not able to be here today because he is with admissions and university marketing at Grove High School in Oklahoma, putting on a green and gold event. And so he's doing a lot of outreach, trying to grow the Global Leaders program and also help bring new freshmen to Missouri Southern. This program is one more reason why new freshmen choose Missouri Southern, and Ben has been attending many of our recruitment events, as I have said, and is talking about the leadership-focused opportunities that students have here at Missouri Southern. Now I would like to tell you some of the enrollment services updates. We have many initiatives taking place in enrollment services to support student success and retention. The Registrar's Office has implemented the new student educational planner that can be used by students and advisors, providing a roadmap for degree completion from the student's very first semester here at Missouri Southern to graduation. The implementation of the late fee has proven successful with creating a sense of urgency for students to pay their bills, and we're very grateful for the board's support with that initiative. The financial aid team has worked tirelessly over the summer, packaging federal and state aid during the rollout of the new FAFSA. We did see a small decline in FAFSAs. However, financial aid has done much outreach through different campaigns to connect with students and to close that gap. And then finally, for enrollment services, 2 of our TRIO programs are out in the high schools educating students of the importance of going to college and helping them navigate through the process of selecting a school. They also bring these students to Missouri Southern's campus to get a better understanding of what college is about and specifically what MSSU has to offer. Finally, I would like to share with you that Missouri Southern has established a strategic enrollment council and is charged with monitoring all aspects of the student journey and will be working closely with President's Cabinet to establish a strategic enrollment plan and tackle enrollment issues. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Dr. Hewitt? Not a question, but a comment. I think it's a really good idea for your Strategic Enrollment Council. That way they're assigned and ready to deal with any issues that may come up in relation to enrollment to kind of keep that ball moving forward. So,
Thank you.
Great job. All right. Moving on, next report is Director of Athletics, Mr. Rob Mallory.
Thank you, Governor Haley. I'll begin my report talking about that time a Missouri Southern alum won an Olympic medal. Virginia Cambrell, former track and field student athlete here at Missouri Southern, took home the bronze in the shot put event at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Virginia came to Missouri Southern in 2018 from Cloud County Community College. He's a native of Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Had a tremendous career here at Missouri Southern, capped by winning national championships in both the shot put and the discus throw at the 2021 Outdoor Division II Track and Field Championship. He was named the National Field Athlete of the Year. But even with those tremendous accolades, this was not expected by any stretch. Virginia became the first Jamaican to earn a medal in this event. He entered the event ranked 16th in the world. He finished 10th in the semifinal to just qualify for the final. And in his second throw, completed what ended up being the second best throw of the event. Tiebreaker criteria bumped him down to the bronze medal, but just a tremendous accomplishment for one of our own. I think the thing that people might not realize is that even though he was representing his native country of Jamaica, Rajendra Campbell lives in Joplin, Missouri. He still trains here on this campus. He still works with Missouri Southern throws coach Brian Allen. So he is still very much a Lion. He's continued to compete internationally following the Olympics, but he will be back in town. He'll be participating in the homecoming parade, and we're working on some additional opportunities for engagement with our Olympic medal winner. So, the 24-25 academic year marks the 50th anniversary of women's athletics at Missouri Southern, and we certainly have a lot to celebrate, a rich history of tradition and success and pioneering women in college athletics. We'll be doing that throughout the year with a series of events, profiles, features on former female student athletes, coaches, and administrators. The centerpiece of this will be a reunion event for all former female student athletes and coaches, January 24th and 25th around our basketball games versus Pittsburgh State. We'll have other opportunities throughout the year, including at homecoming and our Hall of Fame this fall, and then some sports-specific stuff between now and the end of the academic year. So really looking forward to that year-long celebration. We've got a great committee of individuals working to put together that programming. So should be a lot of fun. I'd like to highlight that since our last meeting, it was announced that Missouri Southern finished 30th in the Learfield Directors Cup. That Directors Cup is a ranking of all Division II institutions across the country based on competitive success in the postseason. This is our second consecutive top 30 finish. There's just over 300 schools in Division II, so this puts us in the top 10% of all institutions from a competitive success standpoint. And then lastly, just to highlight an alum, Taylor Griffith, who was named our new men's and women's golf coach over the summer. Taylor's a 2010 Missouri Southern graduate. He was a golf student athlete here, native of Carthage, and he's hit the ground running, really building strong relationships with our student athletes. In his very first event as coach, our women finished second. So off and running there. I'm excited to have Taylor on board. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Mallory? Any more Olympic athletes in the pipeline?
Who knows? Maybe. You're right.
All right, thank you, sir. Next report is Faculty Senate President Dr. Michael Glyphus.
Thank you, Chairman Haley. I don't have a whole lot to report today. This is my first meeting here. The fall semester's kicked off rather well. We had a good slate of welcome back meetings to start the semester. I think all the faculty are settling into our routines and into our classrooms. I think we're in the fourth week now, if that's right. So getting to know the new students and the students that we've had before. Faculty Senate, I'm glad to report we have a full executive committee. It's been a couple of years since that happened for various reasons, but we have a full Senate and a full executive committee. And we're filling all of our committees and everything seems to be going well. I guess address quickly the Great Colleges to Workforce Survey results. We were aware of that. We've gotten those back and we're looking forward to working with the administration and the rest of the faculty to improve communication and make sure everybody knows what's happening, I guess. HVAC units are up and working well. No complaints and nothing impeding the terrific instruction in the classrooms right now. So. Everything's going well. If anybody has any questions.
So what I hear you saying is faculty likes to be cool.
When it's hot out, yes. We're trying to keep it cool.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you for your report. Next up is Staff Senate President, Ms. Leona Belk.
Thank you, Governor Haley. Just a couple updates in my report. When I compiled the report for the meeting, we were down one senator. We have filled that vacancy, but we now have another vacancy, so we still have one senator to fill. But I have included in my report the list of all of our current senators, as well as how they serve Missouri Southern on a staff role. I am happy to say that our swag swap shop is just about ready to open, so we received the last of our shelving units, and we have a small team that is working to get that ready. Hopefully next week we'll be able to open that to any faculty or staff member who want to grab some swag for free, and always accepting donations for any Missouri Southern items. And then lastly, we have asked our governance committee to look at our bylaws. It has been a few years since we've had those updated, and in changes over the last couple of years to number of staff on campus, as well as some changes to professional versus classified. We are going to look to see if it is still meeting the needs of the mission of the university, as well as the staff on campus. So that concludes my report.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Ms. Belk? Okay. Moving on to our board student representative, Mr. Maddox Stutter.
Thank you and good afternoon. We've heard a lot about the international students on our campus, which is great for our campus, but I also want to share some of the ways our students are able to learn through international experiences abroad. This semester, Missouri Southern has students studying in the United Kingdom, Spain, Austria, Japan, and Germany through our semester abroad programs. And I'm especially excited about a 2-week immersion trip to China coming up in November. Several Missouri Southern students, and myself included, will be traveling to Hangzhou, China to experience a global superpower on a personal level. Students traveling to China are currently in a course preparing us for the trip, including learning basic Chinese, language, and pronunciation. These short trips mean little or no disruption to our classes, jobs, and families, while providing a once-in-a-lifetime chance to experience Chinese culture, history, food, business, technology, and education with other MSSU students and faculty. Dr. Brad Hodson has agreed to be our faculty sponsor for the trip, and we're looking forward to his experience and his leadership on this trip. The spring semester will bring other travel abroad opportunities for our students that you will be hearing more about in the coming weeks and months. Many students have traveled abroad to study during this time at Missouri Southern, which has helped provide a broader education outside of Joplin and prepare students to be successful in their careers after graduation. I would also like to point out some small events that have happened and are upcoming so far at this university. The Student Senate election was just last week, and the student senators have been chosen for this coming year. With homecoming just a month away, we are excited for this third Thursday coming up this month. It's supposed to be the largest third Thursday here in Joplin. And this year's theme for homecoming is Wrangle Up the Pride, so get ready to see some Wild West themed floats and activities around campus. And with this semester being centered around Canada, you will see events like Canadian Trivia Night and Canadian Film Nights happening every Tuesday, majority in the Cornell Auditorium over in Plaster. And one of the films that I'm really looking forward to is Dale and Tucker vs. Evil. It's a humorous horror film that I watched a few years ago, and I'm hoping you guys have the time to watch it on your own time. We're here on campus. And I'd like to end by thanking the faculty and the university for making these study abroad and immersion trips possible. It really is a unique experience for most of us. I would also like to remind students that tutoring is available for the fall semester. Student Success Center tutors are available for face-to-face or online tutoring. Walk-ins are welcome, but appointments are appreciated. And thank you everyone for this exciting start for this semester. We're looking forward to another great year. And that concludes my report.
Awesome. Any questions for Mr. Stutter? Thank you for your report. Okay, now moving on to board committees. First up is our Personnel and Compensation Committee, chaired by Governor Elliott.
You chose not to meet. I have no report.
Okay. Next committee is Academic Affairs from Governor Morgan.
We had a brief meeting today, and Dr. Tom shared with us some awards that the faculty has received. The Outstanding Teachers Award, which went to Dr. Betty Aldiz, Assistant Professor of Criminal Justice, Dr. David Henning, who is Associate Professor of Biology. The Outstanding Advisor Award, which was received by Dr. Teresa Bowman, Professor of Environmental Health, and the Governor's Award for Excellence in Teaching, received by Dr. Susan Craig. Dr. Tom shared with us some details on the Adult Degree Completion Update, which is a growing program and a successful program for Missouri Southern. We've also learned more about the Canada semester. We received an update on some faculty data and a Title III grant update. And that was what we covered in our meeting today.
All right. Thank you, Governor Morgan. Next committee was Budget and Audit, chaired by Governor Seibert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had our Budget and Audit Committee meeting, and it was run by Linda Ice, and through that conversation, she updated us on the compensation impact of FLSA and minimum wage that has gone into effect. You heard Dr. Van Galen expand on the state performance funding model. We had that discussion during our committee meeting. And then finally, Linda updated us on the contract with the Fresh Ideas Dining Plan and told us some exciting new options for students to use an app to cover their expenses. Have you tried that?
I have not tried it yet.
Let me know how that goes. But we had a good discussion, and I want to thank Linda for her presentation. And that concludes my report.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your report. Next agenda item is old business. Is there any old business to come before the board? I'm not aware of any, so I'm going to move it along. New business items. The only one I would add is next Thursday is third Thursday for Missouri Southern downtown. Green and gold all around. I'd like to see your smiling faces there. Bring a friend. Also in your agenda, you see the future meeting dates there. Next meeting is November 8th, 2024. And we do have a need to go into executive closed session today pertaining to RSMO 160.021, sections 1 and 3. So I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Governor Plotnick, second.
Second.
Governor Hirschway. Roll call, please, Ms. Jeannie.
Governor Elliott.
Yes.
Governor Hirschway.
Yes.
Governor Ablachnik.
Yes.
Governor Rosenberg.
Yes.
Governor Haley.
Yes.
Governor Hendricks.
Yes.
Governor Morgan.
Yes.
Governor Seibert.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We will move to closed session, 3:50.
356 back to where you were.
Okay, 3:56.